Do you ever feel like you're working nonstop, but you're still not making money? It's not because you're lazy, it's because you lack data. Today, I'm going to share with you the 15-minute free system I use with ChatGPT and Asana to track where my time is going, but more importantly, to track the activities that are actually making me money and bringing in clients. Most service providers and freelancers feel like they're doing a lot. They might feel productive, but they still aren't growing, which is usually for a few reasons. Number one, they endlessly tweak their website or their social media profiles or their overall messaging. They have no follow-up system for warm leads or responses that they got from pitches, which I'm really guilty of, and no system to actually track what is bringing in revenue. As someone who used to be in a corporate sales job before I became a freelance copywriter and content strategist, I had a boss to report to and a fancy CRM that the company paid for, where I was constantly logging activities and the KPIs would automatically be sent to my manager so they had full visibility into what I was doing and we could kind of track all of that. And as self-employed people, we don't have expensive CRM setups or managers to oversee our activities. And part of that is obviously amazing and why I'm doing this to begin with, because who really wants someone micromanaging them? But then it can also feel like a total free-for-all and you're just totally lost in terms of where your time is going and is it actually linked to revenue. So if you feel like you have no accountability and you're feeling kind of lost, this is going to clear all of that up for you, because I was stuck in that same loop up until recently, and this system has been an absolute game changer. So let's talk about how to actually track what's working in your business and what's not. We're going to use a custom tagging system within Asana, which is a free project management software that you can sign up for, or you can use your project management of choice as long as it has that tagging system. But the important thing is this tagging system is going to keep everything focused on one of 5 business goals. And these tags aren't about like fluffy categories. Each one directly relates to either short-term cash flow, client acquisition, your long-term growth of your business, and operational support. And I'm also going to add a miscellaneous tag for things that aren't business related that I still like to track, like my exercise. And don't worry, this is super easy to set up. I'm not a numbers and spreadsheet girl. This is literally just taking screenshots and feeding it into ChatGPT. It takes all of the guesswork out of this, which is definitely something I need because I'm juggling 1,001 things as a service-based business. It's just me and some virtual assistant help. And I don't have time to be doing a bunch of admin work and giving myself extra activities on top of everything I'm already doing. So the first thing you're going to do is just start logging your activities in Asana one by one. Your Asana board will be set up in the Kanban format that most project management softwares like ClickUp, Trello, they all offer that format. And as you go through the day, you're just going to record what you're doing. It's actually low-key satisfying. So let's go through these tasks. So number one is going to be what I call revenue wins. So these are the cash now tasks. Think things like sending out sales emails, booking or hosting paid coaching calls, consulting calls, running promotions, whether it's emails or launches, sending invoices, or getting a signed contract back from a client. These are the tasks that literally make you money today. So in Asana, you'll tag them as Rev Win. Tag 2 is client acquisition. So these are the sales generating activities, even if they don't pay immediately. So that's cold pitching, networking, warm pitching, following up with warm leads, sending proposals, posting your offer on social media. If it helps you bring in clients, it will be tagged as client ACQ or client acquisition. Tag 3 is what I call growth. So this is all about future visibility, long-term authority. So that's stuff like creating YouTube content, updating your website, doing some SEO, whether it be blog post or maybe setting up your funnel, list building, creating lead magnets. It may not pay today, but it will set you up to win later on, and you tag that as growth. This is really important if you are taking my methodology, which is relying a lot on cold pitching and outreach, because when you focus so much on the short-term wins, it can be really easy to stop marketing your business and kind of stunt your long-term growth. So being able to see how you're dispersing these activities into your day-to-day will be really important. And then my ops tag, which stands for operations. So this is the back-end admin stuff. So whether it's organizing your finances, like for me, I do my monthly bookkeeping, updating your standard operating procedures, managing tools or technology, hiring or managing help, paying people. These are all things I tag as ops. And then miscellaneous. So again, I like to track how many times I work out or do cardio, or maybe side projects that aren't related to business. I want you to be tracking that as well, because again, we're trying to figure out where our time goes without having to micromanage every minute. So how you're going to do this is you're actually going to go through and add the tasks as you do them, either before you do them, after. You could pre-plan them, you could do them as you go, do a mix of both. And then you're going to go through and add one of those 5 tags. Maybe some activities will require 2 of those tags at the same time. Maybe it's a revenue win and a growth task. That's fine. But your project management software should have a keyboard shortcut. So I know for Asana, it's like Shift T, no, it's Tab T, and that's how I go in and quickly tag all the tasks. Then at the end of the week, you're going to export those tasks by the tag. And then once you can see all of those in a compiled list based on the tag, that's when you do the screenshot. So again, I'm not a spreadsheet person. I don't want to export things. So I literally just get it all on a list and screenshot it and then feed that into ChatGPT. What showing ChatGPT that list does is it shows you where your time went, what actually led to revenue, and what you should maybe stop doing, right? Because if I'm doing a ton of, let's say, YouTube videos or posting on social media, but I haven't done my outreach, I have to then shift my priorities to be more about client acquisition if I'm in a moment where I'm needing more client. Now let's talk about how you're going to run the actual report in ChatGPT. The easiest way to do this is for you to access my free custom GPT that I created just for you. So you can actually just pull this up and get going immediately. You can get the link to that custom GPT for free below. And you're going to copy and paste a prompt into that custom GPT that's going to allow ChatGPT to analyze your activities, understand your business goals, and actually show you what's going on. So I'll give you an example of what my weekly reports look like. I think this will vary based on your business and how you generate leads and revenue. But for most service-based businesses, we do have to strike this balance between marketing and sales and delivery and ops. And as you can see here in this screenshot I'm going to put on the screen, you definitely want to push back on the robot. You don't want this thing just telling you stuff at face value. So for example, in this situation, I'm just like, hey, like actually this was a 3-day week for me, so I need you to adjust the results based on the fact that it wasn't a 5-day work week. And this lead that I logged was not like a true lead, right? So there's nuance in these things. So what I do is every Friday, I will export the completed tasks from Asana and paste them into ChatGPT using this prompt. And the prompt just says, analyze my weekly business tasks and categorize them into revenue generating activities, client acquisition, brand growth, admin work. I tell it to identify trends, highlight what's working, and suggest adjustments that prioritize revenue-driven activities. And ChatGPT will generate this report and show you where you spent the most time, which activities drove the most ROI, and what to double down on next week. And through these reports, you'll start to realize, okay, wow, I spent 6 hours editing a blog post that didn't lead to any sales. How can I expedite that process and free up my time to focus on what's actually going to move the needle? And these reports can be amazing if you're wanting to outsource and hire your first virtual assistant and get help in your business, and you're like not sure which activities to give them or where you should be outsourcing. These reports will unveil that. At the end of the month, this is a step beyond, and you don't necessarily have to do this, but I think this could really paint a picture for you and help you double down on revenue generating activities in your business. At the end of each month, I grab my sales reports from Kajabi and my invoices from QuickBooks Online, and I asked ChatGPT to connect these revenue sources to my weekly activities, what tasks directly led to income. And when you do this, you could find something startling, like the fact that 80% of your revenue could possibly be coming from tasks that you're spending 30% of your time on. So if you let that sink in, you'll realize, wow, it's not about doing more in my business. It's about doing more of what actually works and moves the needle. So if you want to try this free 15-minute system, I definitely recommend following these steps this week. Just to recap, you're going to use Asana or free project management software to log your tasks. Then you are going to tag them in those 5 simple categories. Maybe you could even change up the categories based on your specific business. You're going to export them. And when I say export, I just mean take a screenshot. We're not doing spreadsheets here. And then you're going to feed them into ChatGPT and prompt it to analyze your activities. Then you can connect the revenue data to see what's actually working based on the activities, and then adjust weekly to focus on money-making activities in your business. Why this matters is that as self-employed individuals, service-based businesses, we tend to think every activity we're doing in our business is important. So we think we're working smart, but really when you track and look at the data, it might tell a different story. You might be spending hours creating content that doesn't convert. You could be ignoring, your 5 outreach messages per week that could land you clients and be paying the bills. Or you could be stuck doing busy work and wondering why revenue has been flat. So this system, although it's not super granular, can solve all of that because it just gives you clarity and kind of puts your business on data-backed autopilot, which we definitely need to free up some of the mental space when we are service-based businesses that are responsible for so many different tasks. So if you've watched this video and you're realizing, wow, I do nothing but work all the time around the clock and I'm not seeing results, I'm not getting paid, don't worry, you're not alone. I've helped hundreds of freelancers over the years go from underpaid and overwhelmed to fully booked and working with high-paying premium clients. So if you want help setting up systems in your business, dialing in your offers, and finally landing premium clients consistently, I'm offering one-to-one strategy sessions. You can book using the link below. In that session, we are going to get clear on your direction, identify what's not working, clarify your high-value offer and positioning, and build a client acquisition system that you will actually use and stay consistent with. It's personalized, it's focused, and it will save you months of spinning your wheels trying to piece together free information from all of these different sources. Spots are limited each month because this is one-to-one. So I suggest clicking the link below, booking that call, and finally getting paid what you are worth in your service-based business. And I cannot wait to connect with you. See ya.